to school edition of 13 WMAZ Morning starts right now. Good morning, everybody. 6 o'clock on the clock. I'm Frederick Price here with Caitlin Heck and meteorologist Alex Forbes. They were getting on down at Peach County.
Hey, shout out to Peach County. It's not even their first day of school, but they're showing out for our back to school coverage today. We love to see it.
That got me going.
Yeah, I still just can't get past. So we've got one county headed back to school today, and that's Hancock County. But it's July 31st.
It's
and
so
they're
early.
headed back to school. You know, the funny thing was I was getting our back to school graphics ready a couple days ago, and I saw last year Wilkinson County actually went back July 28th last year. So they at least caught a break this year. They were among the first last year. But Hancock County is the winner this year. 96 is what I'm going for in Sparta today, an overnight low of 71. That should be happening here in the next few minutes. It's 76 in Sparta right now, 75 in Milledgeville, 75 in Gordon, 73 in Wrightsville, 72 in Vidalia. But in Sparta this morning, 76 is the dew point. It is a very humid morning there. 75 in Milledgeville. How about 72 in Forsyth, 71 in Macon, and 72 in Unadilla. Here's the radar. Nothing going on here in central Georgia, and really for that matter, quiet for the most part across the southeast, the exception being the state of Arkansas. Low pressure system there this morning. That's going to stay over there, not going to be a concern for us. In fact, we are going to stay mostly dry today. 95, one or two sprinkles will be possible. It's going to feel hotter than that, talking about upper 90s. At least it's not the low 100s. I'll show you when that returns, coming up in a few moments.
All right, thank you, Alex. Well, this morning, a man is dead after a car crashed into his motorcycle.
This happened on Riggins Mill Road near Herbert Smart Airport around 12:30 yesterday morning. 48-year-old Michael Burnett of Macon died there at the scene. The driver of the other car was not hurt.
The Bibb County Sheriff's Office is still looking for a man who jumped over the counter and stole some money out of Circle K in Macon. It happened before 2 o'clock Saturday morning on Zebulon Road. No one was hurt, but he did force the clerk to open the cash register and then he ran away. Anyone with any information on this is encouraged to call Macon Regional Crime Stoppers. That number on your screen there, 1-877-68-CRIME.
And the Macon County Sheriff's Office still searching for an escaped inmate. 5 inmates at the Macon County Jail escaped by climbing out of the jail's air conditioning vent. 3 of the 5 that escaped turned themselves back in. 1 was arrested yesterday. Now, deputies are still searching for 36-year-old Bobby Minor. The department says they don't believe he's dangerous, but if you have any information on where he could be, call the Macon County Sheriff's Office at 478-472-6447. Again, 478-472-6447.
6:03, when you drive up to Rose Hill, the arch looks almost back to normal. We first reported on this situation in June when a truck rammed into them. Historic Macon's Instagram page indicates Master Brick finished restoring the base of the arch this weekend. Well, he learned about the brick and stone from his dad, Oscar Ross Sr., who was a master mason as well. Historic Mason says Ross will repair the cracks at the top of the arch, and then the white wall will be repainted, and the paint on the cobblestones forming the arch will be removed.
Well, Warner Robins City employees can soon look forward to a little extra cash flow. Today, the mayor and council will vote on their new employee pay scale. Mayor LaRhonda Patrick's administration has been talking about pay raises since about March of 2022. They found money in their 23 budget to increase employee wages by about 10%. Well, this year, the city has found over $4 million in their budget to make wages competitive. For the last few months, the mayor's told us that these raises will vary on position and rank, but she says now each position will see a major increase. Council meets at Southside Baptist Church at 1 o'clock this afternoon. All non-essential Warner Robins offices will close from noon to 3 so employees can attend.
Plus, council will vote to bring a few new task forces to the city of Warner Robins. They include a blight task force to find resources to fight blight, a clergy task force to help solve community issues and help spread community information, and a Parks and Recreation Advisory Board to bring more community activities. The city will also vote on a new food truck ordinance. It says that no food trucks can park on city property unless for a city event, and says trucks must meet all state regulated health requirements.
Well, the Emerald City is rebranding this summer. City of Dublin says they're hoping to attract more tourists for family, environment-friendly people and things to explore. Nestled between the drive from Atlanta to Savannah, they want people who don't think of Dublin as a destination to maybe give it a try. Visit Dublin launched a new tagline, new logo, and they have a new website coming soon. You can visit their current website, visitdublinga.org, to learn all about what they have to offer. All right, time is 6:05. Back to school time is here. We are so excited for all of our Central Georgia students and teachers who will be kicking off a new school year.
Yeah, starting a new year can be exciting, but also cause some back to school jitters. Our morning reporter TJ Anthony joining us live this morning in Peach County with this week's Mental Health Monday. TJ, I see they're getting on down.
Oh yeah, we are live right now in the tastiest county in Georgia, Peach County, celebrating back to school. Look, they do not start today, but they do start tomorrow. And right now I'm joined by a couple of the key members of the band team. So what is you all's names and what do you do for the band team?
I'm Brianna and I'm the drum major this year.
I'm Kalia and I'm the color guard captain for this year.
Awesome. Now, what are you all kind of nervous about with the start of school being just tomorrow for Peach County?
To be honest, I'm really scared for like practices and football games because I'm leading the band and I just don't want to mess up and I want us to look really good.
I'm just nervous because it's my senior year. I want to make it count and everything go well.
Oh yeah, it's your last year, so you have to do it big for your big one this year, right? Look, so the pressure is on just for so many kids across Central Georgia because it is back to school. And even parents because they're getting ready to get their wallets ready for those expenses. Now students, you may be wondering, how you'll fit in with new kids and new teachers. Licensed therapist Gloria Cisse says the fear of the unknown can frighten just a lot of people. She says it's important for kids and parents to be mindful of their emotions, identify how they're feeling, and often our anxiety can overload us and become our worst enemies.
And then it'll get easier when you get comfortable, when you see who's in your classroom, you see where you're going to sit.
And we'll have a lot more coming up in our 6:30 half hour, not only for this week's Mental Health Monday, but just with the band here in general. So how are you all feeling for back to school? Okay, back to you all in the studio, live in Peach County. TJ Anthony, 13 WMAZ News.
All right, TJ, thank you so much. Yeah, they're excited, but you definitely had some good information there for sure. Can't wait to see that story. Well, with students heading back to school through the week, some changes are coming in Bibb County. Tomorrow, Macon Bibb County will begin enforcing the speed limit in school zones using their automated camera system.
So for drivers, that means cameras will enforce the speed limit on school days when classes are in session and from 1 hour before the start of school until 1 hour after. So take a look at your screen. You'll see the following school zones where the speed limit will be enforced along with the school start times. Some places you'll see the posted speed limits include Northeast High and Appling Middle, Weaver Middle, and Westside High School. The flashing lights in a school zone only indicate the reduced limit around the start and end times. But when you see the flashing signs, make sure you slow down and watch for kids who are coming and leaving school.
Well, several private and charter schools have also agreed to have speed limit cameras, and those will be active within the next 90 days. You will be cited when the camera catches a vehicle going through a school zone more than 10 miles per hour of the posted speed limit. The first citation is $100, and each one after is $150. 6:08 on the clock on a Monday morning. So, Alex, what should students expect today?
Yeah, so it's still summer.
We can feel it outside.
Yes.
Felt it this morning.
Exactly. Even though kids are headed back to school, the season is still summer by meteorological and astronomical standards. So 90s across Central Georgia. It's not that, school is starting and here comes the pumpkin spice. That's not how it works around here. We are looking at a nice sunrise this morning across Central Georgia. Here's a live look in Macon. Kids in Bibb County headed back to school tomorrow. Temperatures in the 70s this morning. So our county headed back to school is Hancock County. 76 is the current number there in Sparta, 75 in Milledgeville. But in Sparta right now, it's also the most humid spot. Our dew points are in the upper 70s as well. Not seeing that translate to rainfall this morning across Central Georgia. But man, did we see some yesterday. Look at all the storms we had that rolled from north to south. Numerous severe thunderstorm warnings. Meteorologist Alex Pry was here tracking that yesterday afternoon. This morning we are quiet. Only a couple showers back into Arkansas this morning, and that is about it. So mid-90s by the noon hour. Later into the afternoon we get just a couple degrees warmer. Only about a 20% chance of rain through the afternoon hours. Then we get into the evening. Anything we do see will dissipate through the overnight. There we go. Mid-70s tomorrow morning. Upper 90s potentially tomorrow. I kept us a couple degrees cooler because this model has been overshooting the temperatures each day. So I kept us around the mid-90s for tomorrow afternoon. Then we get into Wednesday morning, mixing in potentially a couple 60s before another 20% chance of rain for Wednesday afternoon. Now, where things get interesting is on Thursday. See this blue blob right here? That's the European model saying that we have the potential for storms Thursday afternoon. But what I want you to notice is the pattern in this, how it moves from north to south very quickly. That's indicative of potentially some strong storms rolling through Central Georgia on Thursday afternoon. But then again on Friday morning, as that rolls down to the south, what are called ridge rider systems will be possible here across the Peach State. So here we go with the temperatures. Made it to 97 yesterday, only 89 on Saturday. That's what happens when you get rain early in the day. We had a couple storms Saturday morning, but that is on top of what was a hot week before it and then a hot week before that one. So fingers crossed that was the hottest we are going to get all year. A 70% chance of development over the next 2 days, 80% over the next 7 with this cluster of storms in the central Atlantic. You can see it's projected to move towards the north, so not going to be a concern for us. And then actually the low pressure system that brought us those Saturday morning storms now has a 30% chance of development here in the western Atlantic. That's going to move off towards the north and east and not be a concern for anybody. But if they do develop, the next names on the list, Emily and Franklin for the 2023 season. Back to school today in Hancock County. A great start this morning. 73 at the bus stop, 96 later this afternoon. It's going to be hot and humid up there in Sparta and all across central Georgia. I've got 95 here in Macon, 94 for tomorrow. Again, not quite as hot as you saw in Future View, but still humid nonetheless. A 20% chance of rain Monday through Wednesday. That's going to be up to 60% on Thursday. But from Thursday on, those high temperatures are highly dependent on the storm threats. We'll see what happens there, but as of now, I've got 86 on Thursday. As we go to break, we want to take you back out to Peach County High School and check